Welcome to Star Watch Now, your front row seat to all the hottest gossip, drama, and breaking news from the world of entertainment. If it's trending, shocking, or star-studded, we're covering it. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Sometimes, we don't realize what we had until it's gone. In a world that demands strength, perfection, and silence, two of Asia's biggest stars carried a love so quiet, it almost disappeared before they knew how deeply it mattered. This is not fan fiction. This is not a rumor. This is a story of timing, choices, and the heartbreak of letting go too soon. Under the blinding lights of fame, they stood together, two rising stars, side by side, captivating millions with their talent and undeniable chemistry. But beneath the surface of glowing smiles and perfect performances, something quiet and heartbreaking began to unravel. Xiao Zhan, known for his calm composure and grace, started to retreat. Not loudly, not dramatically, just slowly, through silence, through distance, through the invisible choices that build walls between people. He told no one exactly why, but those close to him said the pressure was unbearable. The weight of public expectation, the scrutiny from fans and media, the unspoken rules of the industry, they all collided at once. To protect everything he had worked so hard for, he chose to let go of the one connection that felt most real. He told himself it was necessary. He told himself it was temporary. But the moment he pulled away, something precious began to fade. Wong Iba never resisted. He didn't chase. Perhaps he understood, or perhaps he hoped Xiao Zhan would find his way back in time. So he waited, not with anger or blame, but with a quiet, aching loyalty. In public, they remained professional. But behind the scenes, something had changed. Something neither of them dared to name out loud. Sometimes letting go feels easier than fighting. Sometimes we don't realize the value of someone until we're watching them walk away. And in the silence between them, a love that could have grown instead began to slip, unnoticed by the world, but unforgettable to the two hearts that once beat in sync. That goodbye wasn't loud, but it was final. And Xiao Zhan would come to understand that some choices, once made, cannot be undone. Regret has a way of creeping in when the world quiets down, when the spotlight fades and all that's left is memory. For Xiao Zhan, that silence became deafening. At first, he told himself he had done the right thing, stepping away from what couldn't be named, what couldn't survive in the harsh light of scrutiny. But time doesn't wait, and neither does the heart. The further Wong Iba drifted, the more Xiao Zhan realized what he had lost. Only it was too late to say it out loud. He watched from a distance as Wang Yibo rose higher, matured, laughed with others, and carried on as if nothing had ever been broken. Yet in the quiet corners of Xiao Zhan's life, those memories began to haunt him. Not just the grand moments, but the little things, the way Yibo would notice his moods before anyone else, the conversations they shared after long shoots, the silence that used to feel safe between them. It all came rushing back, not as nostalgia, but as a deep, aching void. He tried to fill it with work, with public smiles, with the comfort of routine. But it didn't work. And then came the moment that shattered the illusion. The news of Wang Yibo's accident. In that single breath, everything he had buried erupted to the surface. It was no longer about pride or image or fear. It was about a soul he had once held close and walked away from too soon. Regret, Xiao Zhan learned, doesn't come with warnings. It arrives when the door has already closed, when the chances are already gone. And in that moment, as he waited outside the hospital, all he wanted was one thing: a second chance to hold on. Wang Yibo's world returned slowly, like light creeping in after a long storm. The sterile white of the hospital ceiling was the first thing he saw. His mind, still fogged by pain and sedation, tried to gather what had happened. There were voices, movement, concern, but nothing anchored him until he asked a single question, soft and instinctive. Is Xiao Zhan here? It was a whisper, but it cut through the silence like a confession. He hadn't spoken that name in a long time, not publicly, not even privately. Too much had been left unsaid between them. And yet, in the moments between consciousness and sleep, His heart sought only one person. Not family, not colleagues, just the one who had once made the world feel less heavy. That quiet question revealed everything he had tried so hard to keep buried. His longing, his hope, and his silent heartbreak. When he learned Xiao Zhan had been there, waiting, pleading, not allowed in, something shifted inside him. He realized that even after everything, Xiao Zhan still cared. And though no words had been exchanged, though time had built a wall between them, the truth stood firm. The bond had never truly broken. It had only gone quiet. In the days that followed, Wang Yibo didn't say much. But something in his eyes changed. He smiled more, but softer. He paused longer, as if he was listening for something lost. And when he finally posted, just 2 words, "Thank you," those who understood didn't need more. Because sometimes awakening doesn't come with grand gestures or declarations. Sometimes it comes with a whisper, a name, and the quiet return of feeling. It was just a phone call, one ring, one missed connection, but it changed everything. In a world where timing defines so much love, loss, regret, it was the silence on the other end of that call that marked the beginning of Xiao Zhan's deepest heartache. He had been busy, surrounded by the usual noise of his schedule, interviews, rehearsals, expectations. When his phone lit up with Wong Iba's name, he saw it, hesitated for a moment too long, and let it pass. He thought, "I'll call back in 5 minutes." But 5 minutes never came. What he didn't know then was that it was not just a casual call. It was Wong Iba's last attempt. One final reach across the void of pride and distance that had grown between them. In that moment, Iba had chosen vulnerability. He had chosen to reach out, to ask for connection, maybe even forgiveness. But the call went unanswered, and the opportunity dissolved into silence. When Xiao Zhan later learned what that call meant, what followed it, the accident, the hospital, the critical hours, he was haunted not by what he had done, but by what he hadn't. That missed call became more than a regret. It became a wound, one not visible to the world, but deep and personal. Because it wasn't just a missed call. It was a moment when love had tried to speak, and silence answered instead. For the first time, Xiao Zhan understood that sometimes, life only gives us one chance to show up. And if we blink, if we wait too long, the people we care about can slip through our fingers like time we can never reclaim. Healing doesn't always arrive with grand gestures or perfect closure. Sometimes it comes quietly, like dawn after a long, restless night. For both Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo, healing was not a headline or a dramatic reunion. It was something slower, more delicate, unfolding in the background where the world wasn't watching. After the accident, when the chaos faded and the cameras moved on, what remained was silence. Not the cold, empty kind, but one filled with reflection, understanding, and pain softened by time. Xiao Zhan no longer tried to explain what he couldn't articulate. He simply stayed near, not demanding a place, just hoping to still matter. And Wang Iba, still recovering in body and spirit, began to notice the small things. The way Xiao Zhan never left without leaving a note. How he quietly sent meals, music, the familiar things that once brought them joy. It wasn't dramatic, but it was consistent. It was care without expectation. It was love without a name. Each day, they built something wordless between them again. Not the old version, not what was lost, but something new, something gentler. In interviews, both remained reserved, guarding their private truth. But their fans saw the subtle signs. A softened gaze, a shared glance, a song lyric posted at just the right moment. These weren't proofs. They were quiet offerings. Healing, for them, wasn't a return to the past. It was a step toward something honest. A space where regret no longer ruled, and presence mattered more than apology. And though they never said the words out loud, those who truly saw them understood. The bond between them was still alive, not broken, just healing in its own time. Some stories aren't just meant to be watched. They're meant to be felt. Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo's journey, with all its silence, missed chances, quiet returns, and unspoken love, holds a mirror up to all of us. It reminds us that life rarely offers perfect timing, and love doesn't always arrive wrapped in clarity. Sometimes it stumbles in, late, bruised by pride, humbled by time, and yet still deeply real. Their story is not about fame, nor is it merely a tale of two stars navigating personal emotions in a public world. It's about the universal truth of human connection. How fragile it is, how powerful it can be, and how easily it can slip away when we forget to listen to the voice in our hearts. It asks us to remember that the people we love might not always wait for the perfect moment to say what matters. Sometimes they only need a small sign, a call answered, a hand reached out, a door left open. In a world where distraction is constant and vulnerability feels like weakness, their quiet courage teaches something invaluable. That love, when held with gentleness, can survive storms. That regret, though painful, can lead to redemption. And that silence, when filled with presence instead of absence, can still speak volumes. So maybe this isn't just their story. Maybe it's ours too. A reminder to forgive more quickly, to speak more honestly, and to hold close what truly matters before time has the chance to take it from us. And perhaps the greatest message of all is this: it's never too late to choose love, so long as we're brave enough to show up for it. If you've ever loved someone and walked away, if you've ever looked back and wondered, what if? Then this story is your reminder. Don't let pride speak louder than the heart. Don't wait until the stage is empty, because sometimes the greatest regret is knowing you had it all and let it slip. If this story touched your heart even a little, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more real-life stories behind the stars. We tell what others won't. We feel what others miss. We're here to bring the human behind the fame. Hit the bell so you never miss an update. Leave a comment below. What would you do if love came knocking again?